Okay, we're getting into some custom stuff here. So what makes a custom knife really good? The first thing that makes a custom knife good is the steel and the heat treatment and how it's basically made. This particular knife is made out of a harrow disc. If you don't know what a harrow disc is, it's a plow that you pull behind the tractor to till up the dirt and to get ready for planting. And it's tough steel, probably 1095, something like that, if I had to guess. But they make it out of all kind of different stuff. This one was cut out in the beginning with a plasma cutter, the overall shape, and then it was beat out of the forge, put into forge, and it was beaten flat, so it was nice and flat. And after it was beat flat, you can see the hammer marks all in it here. It's another way to tell a good custom knife is the hammer marks. So it's beat out nice and flat, handles beat out nice and flat. It's a full tang, in other words, the steel runs all the way through, so there's no problem with any kind of breakage or anything like that. And then it was heated up to critical temperature. Well, actually, it was just beat down first and then taken into the shop and ground out to the shape that you want, and then the blade shape, and all the way down to almost sharp. And then it was taken back out to the forge. It's heated up to critical temperature, which means critical means it won't stick to a magnet. The molecular structure has changed. And then it was quenched 3 different times. And that made it super hard. So it was almost so hard that it would break. So then we take and temper it, which means we take it back into the shop after we get through doing everything we want to do to it, take it back in the shop, and then we heat the knife back up and we get it to a straw color. I like mine a straw color. If you want it to be like spring steel, you can do it all the way up to a light blue, but it won't hold an edge very well. It'll be very soft steel, but it won't break. But I like a straw color, which gives you a nice kind of a meeting between the hard and the soft compromise. And I just like my knives to be the straw color because they will hold a really good edge. And this one, you don't touch the edge unless you want to be cut. It's already cut me twice by accident, and I'm very careful. Straw color, and then you polish it out and sharpen it. And this one's been polished out and sharpened. I'm not sure I even finished sharpening it yet. But as you notice, the tip is like a needle. And then the spine is square, so in case you need to use a Ferris rod or something, you can even break bone with the back of this thing. I also designed in a thumb hole here, so if you had to stab hard, the thumb will rest here and won't slide up on the blade. And also, you notice here, your finger won't slide up onto the blade if you stab. It has a micarta handle. I polished this handle, and that makes it a little slippery. I don't really like that as much, but I wanted it to look good. So, and I wanted it not to hang up on my clothing if I was carrying concealed. This is a big ass knife to be carrying concealed, but let me show you something. Let's see how big this is. This is almost, it's an 8.5 inch blade. Okay. 8.5 inch blade. The handle on this baby is 4 3/4, and it goes in here just a little bit to rest in your hand just right, and it fills the backhand. Now, I like to build blades. I don't just do stock removal. I like to build blades and repurpose things. So this old disc was laying out, and it was rusty, and it was done with its life completely. So I wanted to do something with it besides just throw it away. So I made a knife out of it. And then these pieces are grounding rod off the side of a power pole. An old power pole that was laying out on the farm. I looked and found the grounding rod, and I used them to hold the handle. The only thing that was bought to add to this knife was the micarta. And often, I don't use micarta. Often, I like to use good old southern oak, like in this baby. I like that because I can get a much thicker handle, you know. But since this knife is designed to be kind of a concealed carry and lay alongside your body, I didn't want a big bulky handle, wide handle. I just wanted one that would work and fit my hand. You know, so, and let's look at the other way to see what knife's going to fit you is you measure your hand. So my hand is about 4 inches across. My fingers are about the same. Okay, so you want your knife, when you lay it in there, you want to have a little bit left over, and you want it all to just fit in there. Now, the other thing is when your hand is long this way, and you get a narrow knife, then you don't want your hand touching your skin. You want the hand to wrap the knife and give a little bit of area here, because if you're going to take and do a finger cut where you just take it and you just kind of flick the knife, you want to be able to do that where it can kind of rotate. You just flick it, and when you flick it, watch the tip. It moves a good almost a foot. No, about, let's see, it moves about 8-10 inches. Yeah, so just with the flick of your fingers, 3-finger flick, bam, and you're cut. And then the back, this back right here, you can take and you can break a bone with it quite easily. This is rounded to make it stab easier. And this is, of course, flat, like we talked about earlier, where you can use a ferris rod or something like that. But you also can put it on the edge, and you can break a bone with the edge of that without cutting it. Just one of my designs. This is called the Fighter Survivor. I just want to show that. Anyway, all right, that's just some points of a custom knife I want to talk about today. I hope you guys are having a great day. Go out and make your family, yourself, and your fellow warrior better.